Good morning, lovers. Good morning, good morning. So, we're getting ready to have a great conversation. A lot happening right now. So, let's start with the beginning topic, right? How's everyone doing? Stay with me as I see you guys adding on. All right. Welcome to the morning show with Miss Diva. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate all of you guys for joining the podcast like you do. So, our beginning topic, we're covering quite a few topics this morning. So, let's start with the beginning. All right. Who's got their Jamba Juice going? I did the OJ power smoothie this morning. So, let me know if you have your Jamba Juice going. I want to hear about it. Alright, so where are we? Alright, so let's get our invites out there. Thank you guys for being patient. Not multitasking live. Indeed I am. Indeed I am. Thank you for being patient. So we have a lot to cover, so we will not have music this morning. And I know that you guys are okay with that, okay? Give me a moment to go over there and share something. Appreciate that. So I'm talking, I left religion and Facebook did this to me. And a lot of other social media apps did this to me. So I appreciate you guys for coming by Live Me to hear about it because it mainly comes from who I knew, the people that I know. And they have no idea that they're doing this. So I don't blame them. I have to blame it on social media, right? So we definitely have to take the heat off of people because unapologetically it's my responsibility to make sure that I inform friends and fam of where I stand. And it's also, as people are trying to figure out where I stand, there's this misconception that I don't believe. And so when you get into the misconception that I don't believe, then you start judging, and then you guys start giving me a reason to understand why I made the decision that I made about religion. So, especially when people start getting defensive of what I used to participate in the aspect of how we used to have conversations, and then social media does this thing to me. And when that happens, I'm telling you guys, it just it causes this conflict because what you do not want to do is, okay, Diva, you know that this is the reason why. Hey, sweetie, how are you? Angel, thank you for coming by. Haggy Pie, thank you for coming by. I think a lot, thank you. Swag Grant, thanks a lot for stopping by. Thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment. Last one you love. Melon Smasher, thank you for coming by. Short Circuit. Mink, thank you for coming by. Angel Lamb, I think I just said you. Cat Eyes, thank you for coming by. You guys, please share. It's much appreciated. So, there, I may get up for a moment too if I jump out because I'm feeling that this Jamba Juice really needs to um, be followed with water. But I did one of these OJ Powerful. I think on at Jamba Juice it's the OJ Powerful Power Smoothie, and so I needed it to really jumpstart everything that I have going on because I shea butter. I went and tried to start those burpees, and I'm telling you, sis, when I got to like number 5, and again, we were talking this morning about the fasting, and so when I got to number 5, I was like, hold up. These don't love you like you want to. All right, so Pink Orb, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. You guys, please share, share, share. You guys are much appreciated. We're going to get into the topic. You rock on so many levels. You rock on so many levels. Thank you so much. So, 27 of you over there. You guys have jumped in enough where I'm going to let you beam up, sweeties, but more than likely control the beam. Sound good? Sound good. Alright, so I will let you beam up at the right time, but I do need to make sure that I don't, this, what you hear is my jacket, because my workout jacket had me like feeling some type of way in the studio. Alright, so, but it's always cold in here. You guys know how I am when you see me on the cam, right? You know what I'm going, you already know what I'm doing, right? I'm going back and forth with the jacket and things like that. So here's the deal. I left religion, and it caused this thing to happen where the first misconception is she doesn't believe. So I have given you nothing to make you come up with that. That is your defenses that happen in religion, which is the reason why I left. You know what I'm saying? So your first misconception is that I don't believe because I'm not operating in the manner that you want me to operate in. And that is one of the second things that's so big behind stepping away from religion. Because so too often, people that are caught up in religion have this textbook misconception of how things should go. And when you go outside of that to do something that makes your life work better, then they go, she doesn't believe it anymore. Look at you turning your back on God, and then they just kind of just like flip out, and you're like, but you're the reason why I left.com. But so it kind of can get really crazy. Thank you so much for coming by. Big D Boys, appreciate you so much. Thank you. These names Soldier32. Thank you so much for coming by. So, yeah, so the misconception is that you don't believe, and it causes people to come at you so crazy that it makes you actually research even more. So, you know what I mean? So it makes you kind of go, all right, I know what it is that I was feeling. At the same time, you're like I know what I feel is right, and that there's something caught up in that process. Hi, how you doing, Aggie Pie? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the love. So there's something caught up in that process that makes religion, and the last topic that we're going to talk about later on in the podcast, you're going to see that religion has kind of played a part in that one also. So it's such a dominating factor that it doesn't leave room for people to breathe. And I know we're going around and we're telling the white supremacists to get your knees off our necks, but goddamn religion, get your goddamn knee off of mine. You know what I mean? Like it's so heavy. It's so heavy. And you're never gonna know anything lighter than the moment when you found out about God and the concept and praying and the focusing your mind and all those things. When you found out all those things, remember how light you felt, and you just felt like things started to make sense. Religion comes in and screws that moment up. That moment is so great. Everybody in religion is at that moment. But then religion itself and what people do with it comes in and it burdens you down. It screws up that moment. You no longer feel it anymore. And it's not until you turn around and walk away that you get everything that you were meant to have in the first place. Gone are the days where people are able to successfully as one huge unit. Thank you for coming by, a dragon. So it's gone are the days of people where people are able to successfully, as one big organization, make that work where no one is doing something within it that causes so much of an offense that it sends thousands away from it. Right? And it's, this concept is about a lot of other different organizations and groups as well, but really, especially with religion, because so much is required from a person who reaches to a higher source to live their best life and to be their best person so that they can push that out to others so that they can feel that positive vibe so that they can come a part of that great energy and that it spreads. Instead, you have these Bible beaters, church beaters, like they literally want to argue the faith. Hey, isn't that, look, have faith in me. Look at that. That's your name. Thank you for coming by. It's right on time, right? So they want to argue the faith. And that's not what it's supposed to feel like. So if you don't do meditation, if you're not participating in, like your solfeggio frequencies and things that bring calm, you're gonna think that this garbage and drama and gossip and craziness that goes on, Scotsman in Ireland, they're almost like wife beaters, right? Because people that are too caught up in religion to where they speak and defend it in a negative tone, they abuse people with their way of approaching it. And it's not what it's supposed to be. So that's the reason why I was like, you know what? I'm walking away from religion because I know and I understand and I've studied long enough to understand that everything that is about being in tune with a spiritual experience is within me. It's within me. It always was. It was never this blonde hair, blue eyes, up in the sky, down below hell. Like, it's never any of that. It's never any of that. And so religion comes along and it tries to beat you up and make you feel guilt to the point where another topic that we're about to cover in just a few, it even makes people hold back on the one thing that you need to be doing for your culture. Your religion and what you're choosing to do, you're not even tapping into what God wants you to do. You're using religion to defend why you're not standing up for your people. That is awful. So it's not ever supposed to feel like that. And then people say, well, that's not everybody in religion, D. Well, it doesn't matter for if one is doing it. And there you go, right? So you guys, how can he still breathing? Thank you for coming by. Love the name. So how is it, sweeties, that you are able to say, if one cop is bad, they all bad? How the hell do you fix your lips? Religious people, how do you fix your lips to say that? And then you can't say if one goddamn pastor like Paula White is bad, then they're all bad. Please help me. What a contradictory statement. What a contradictory way of believing and thinking and pushing out into the atmosphere. It's contradictory. So what I've found is I just have peace. Extreme amount of peace. Staying away from all of it. And this is coming from a person who was almost nearly, well, I can't say I wasn't born into the church, but because before my parents were in the church that they were in, they were Baptists. So I was born into a family of believers. I was born into a family of religious believers for sure. And I also was born to a father who was a believer of something higher than us, that he understood that this is not a joke and that you can tap into something that really will help you be a better person, right? But it gets so watered down and so ostracized in a way that people miss what it could be. And there's some bad people out there that could really begin to start behaving better, but they can't because religion's in the way. And I'm going to talk about a couple of topics in a moment. And remind me, is that one of the topics that you're speaking of, Diva, that religion is in the way? So why don't we pause for a moment and see if anybody wants to step in onto the mic. All right, so let me know if you want to come onto the mic while I go and take a look at some other things. And I'll give you at least a few minutes to come in and share your thoughts before we switch to the next thought. Okay? So while you're getting ready to see whether or not you want to come talk to me, I'll be adding the next thought. Thank you, lovers, for coming by. You guys rock. Thank you for stopping in. Alright, so where are we at next? Okay, so we're opening up the beam. Alright, so the next topic, stick around for this. I'm going to tell you who's really guilty in that Atlanta situation. But you have to stick around. Looks like I have two. Okay. Shouts out to those who get to be a part of the behind the scenes life. Enjoying it a little bit too much? Joking. So, alright. Let's get that one in. That's not the topic. My bad. There we go. That one was a week ago. Alright. Alright, beam closes back up, you guys. Alright, feel free to come back in a few. I'm going to open the beam back up in just a few. Thank you for stopping in for that. Alrighty, so Atlanta, Georgia. Rayshard Brooks. So we have to go into, people say, well, I can't watch that video. And I get it. I don't want anybody to take themselves into any state of anxiety. I don't want you to experience anything that makes you hurt yourself in a mental way. Hold on, microphone. Sorry about that. I had to get my charger back on. Okay, so I don't want you to hurt yourself in a mental way and in a way that would be harmful to you because you're taking in too much. I don't want you to go into FOMO, that fear of missing out on the details of all this, to the point where you're trying to take in all the dark and that this is, because all of this in the Black Lives Matter, trying to take 401 years and make 20 days of marching, make it all make sense. So that's a lot to take in. Imagine what our ancestors have been doing, trying to beat the spirits around to get you guys to take notice. So they're exhausted, we're exhausted because we're finally reaching out to the individuals in the new way of thinking who are out there making this message known, because the ancestors have tapped into them and said, look, it is time. So it's a lot. So no, if that's not a part of what you do or have to do, or your brand or anything like that, then no, don't take a part in watching those videos back to back, because in 3 weeks time we have the Ahmaud Arbery tragedy, we have George Floyd tragedy, we even have Mr. Cooper, who was attacked by Amy Cooper in another kind of way, in New York in the park. All of this within 3 weeks, okay? So you've had two hangings happen that are being brought up. Maybe didn't happen in this time frame that are being brought up. We have Javier Ambler that, even though it happened a year ago in Texas, is being brought up. We have Breonna Taylor that happened. All of this breaks down into 3 weeks. And from George Floyd, we go immediately into finding out again the news of Javier Ambler. We have the lynching that happens, and they try to cover it up as that, saying that the kid committed suicide. The family says, "Please believe me when I say that it's a lynching," and these lynchings are happening continuously in California, and no one's addressing it. You see what I'm saying? We're packing on a lot, and then we go into this weekend, and the two officers in the Wendy's parking lot killed the guy for sleeping. So Rayshard Brooks basically was killed for sleeping. Try to give me any other reason why he was killed. You can't say for resisting arrest, sweetie. The reason why you can't say that he was killed for resisting arrest is because white men resist arrest all the time. I seen a white woman jump on after beating the smack out of a white officer. She jumped on top of the windshield of his vehicle. She jumps and she starts beating into the windshield, and then she takes her off and runs around, and I think even threw some rocks, and then jumped in the car and took off, and they arrested her. So he definitely was not killed for resisting arrest, because white people live from resisting arrest all the time. He was killed because he was sleeping. And oh, well, Diva, white people sleep too. Yeah, they do. They sleep on the issues as well. But here's the deal. He was arrested, and I mean, he was killed for sleeping while black. Big damn difference. Big difference. So Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta, Georgia, lost his life at that Wendy's because he was sleeping and he was black. No other explanation for it. Anything else that's in the video are just additional things that happen around the incident of the murder of being murdered for being black sleeping. So the officer in the beginning, Darren, I think, I'm mixing up the names because that's starting to be too popular of a name. He actually, it said, "I don't feel like dealing with this guy," and he kind of laughed when he got into the car, which I felt like that was inappropriate. But he says he opens the door and there was alcohol. We, of course, anybody that called on him, he was sleeping in the drive-through, and cars were going around and going around and going around, and for a long time he was sleeping in the drive-through. So either the managers called because they didn't want to deal with it, or I don't know. And again, I still don't know who this girlfriend is and what kind of drinks were you all given at that location. We need to hear from the girlfriend who gave you the drinks, and did someone slip something in the drinks while you were there celebrating your birthday, right? So there's so much going on. But whatever reason, it made him hard asleep. Officer taps on the window, and he's like, "Oh, man, okay, you been drinking? What's going on?" And the guy's like, trying to come out from the stupor of drunkenness. So the officer then tells him, "Well, pull over there and go to sleep." So when he told him to pull over and go to sleep, I'm disappointed that he didn't drive off. Because when you see the killer, Garrett, talk to his chief later, or his captain, whoever he was later, he says, "I'm trying to come down off of my adrenaline. When I came, I was on the way and I knew I was about to arrest the guy. I just didn't know it was going to go like this. Just didn't know it was going to go like this. I'm coming down from my adrenaline." No, you knew, Karen. You knew that the next time that you were called out that you were going to kill a black man. It was in your face. See, some people can't read it, but I read it. I read it in your face. That's why I watch the videos, because I want to see what I see, so that I'm making sure that I'm seeing what I see, and I stay so in tune and balanced with my meditation, my sulfuric frequencies. I'm not caught up in my own perception. I know that what I'm looking at is exactly what it was. I saw the evil when it arrived in your face, and it happened immediately when your face turned to see that the person which you knew on the radio was an African American male. It was there. It was already, your intent was there already. I also believe, I've watched the video 3 or 4 times. I also believe that you taste him. You taste him first before he grabbed the taser. So, of course, it's being twisted around to resisting arrest, But I think that you tased him. I heard, and anybody can go watch the video and just call me, you know, decide differently. Hey, I see some people have left my other platform. Like, okay, yeah, that's not a problem. Not the live, something else I'm looking at. So, so anyway, I see the officer show up, and I see him bad it. So if you don't know that life, then you don't really know what a person shows up bad it looks like, because you you haven't lived life long enough to really understand, right? But when you truly get it and you see somebody show up with that BS, then you're like, oh, okay, I see what he came to do, right? And I'm sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. I had to mute that so I could take a look. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that I can see you guys when you jump in. Hopefully, I can. Okay. All right. So I saw him. I saw it when he arrived. He had it on him. So if you watch it, you'll see that moment too. And the kind officer who was like, man, you need to sleep that off. So what happened? He's like, I'm in town because my mother died. I'm visiting the gravesite a couple years ago. He's like, he was empathetic. Darren, the other officer, he was empathetic to that. And he kind of got caught in the crossfire of the evil that is Garrett, the killer. He did. And I hope that the jury can maybe see what I saw, so that yes, he's going to have some, he probably won't be able to be the aiding and abetting that we're seeing happening with George Floyd, because he didn't get enough time to react or tell his officer anything. Garrett went for the kill because Garrett showed up to kill. He started questioning the man about his money, and asking him questions about where he got his money and those kind of things. And that's when I knew. I said, oh, I see where he's at with what he thinks of him already. So you see that almost instantly. You see that instantly, what he thinks, you know? And so there's really the other officer that was like, pull over and go and rest, and asking him about his life and empathetic to his life. He knew, true, maybe he understood that he was going to arrest Rayshard Brooks, and he had called for his backup to make that happen with an individual who smelled like alcohol and he felt was drunk. Whether or not Rayshard Brooks meant to go out and get that wasted, I don't know, because then again, I question who gave him the alcohol at that location that him and his girlfriend were at. Because if somebody put something in alcohol just to set him up, Garrett, the killer, and his buddies, his entourage of people that he worked with, who knows? So it's so much that has to unfold, and we haven't had enough time to unfold those kind of details. It was just a few days ago. Macho Moron, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you. And so I know a lot of you guys come in here. I had to block a person that came in here for the wrong thing. So it's okay, though. You're always welcome. Just when you get out of hand is when I have to block you. But not believing in my mind what I believe in. I'm not like religion. So you can actually have your thoughts and I'm going to have mine. When you disrespect me with your thoughts is when I decide, okay, I can't have you in my energy space. And unapologetically, that happens. And we move along in life, right? No explanation needed. So the officer had intent. That particular officer, that when he showed up, his demeanor isn't like the kind officer asking about Rayshard's life. And whether it was an act or not, it does, he wasn't doing, he had the opportunity to murder Rayshard when he was asleep. He was the first officer on the scene. So if his intent was to murder, he wouldn't have called his buddies. He would have just took the shot. The boy was asleep. The man was asleep. So if the man was asleep, he would have just took the shot. Okay? So because he didn't do it, that's why I don't feel like he is the aggressor. The aggressor is the second officer who comes, hey, you mind if I pat you down? My redneck voice, don't really like you, dude. Buddy, can I pat you down? I saw it on him from the get. all angles, the car cam, the person filming, the body cam, every angle you look at, you're gonna see it on this dude. And then when he sees the money, where do you get the money from? The money in my wallet, living, being black, having a job, making an income. You know we do that, right? You do know that that's only Trump supporter rhetoric that says that we're snowflakes and don't work, right? Oh, okay, good. So yeah, I can have money in my pocket. And he starts questioning him and judging him. And well, why you have so much? I don't know, because your wife gave it to me when I just came from eating her out. I don't know. I mean, my mouth will get all out of control in a situation like that when you ask me where the hell my money came from. Who do you think you are? Don't question me about my money. Who do you think you are? That's their problem. White supremacists and racists have this ideology that they're better and that everyone answers to them. Hell, they probably question God. Like, what the fuck is up, dude? Who the fuck you think you are? God? Like, I just feel like that's how they do. So that's just their demeanor. So he had it on him. So I saw it. So Rashad continues to comply. Can I give you a breath test? I'm not going to. What can I do? Yeah, man, you could do that. He tells him. Like, I can't tell you no. He could. He just didn't, his legal rights. He should have called his attorney once he woke up. But, he may not have known to do that. Benjamin Crump, I want to know if you guys have a hotline of workers that can get on the line and record the call. So that way Black America can get on the phone, they call you, and everything's being recorded, and we work those things out in court as well, right? So I think that would be an initiative that we need to get started in the Black community. So after he tests him, he's trying to show us on the camera, this is his numbers, he's entirely intoxicated. Well, of course he is, especially if you're a part of the people that slipped him to Mickey in the first place at the club, who knows? So he's intoxicated, and so he's, I'm going to have to arrest you. There's no resistance happening at that moment at all. And then he helps them put his hands behind his back. Like, if I was going to run, I'm running at that moment that you guys don't have your hands on me, right? He did not run at the moment that he was free to run. When he walked off to go get the little breathalyzer, a person that's going to resist arrest because you're filthy, chocolate wasted would have ran then. He didn't. Okay? So when he puts his hand behind his back, Officer Dush, he actually tased him at that moment. When Rashad felt it, go watch the video yourself. I watched it 3 times. You hear the taser. So Rashad feels it, taser, and then I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm everything y'all motherfuckers think I am at that point, because I see what you're trying to do here. So then he starts resisting, into their terminology of resisting, but I felt that he was starting to protect, and I think that Garrett was saying things that we couldn't hear and whispering things like, I'm going to kill you, and because Rashad then responds, go watch the video yourself. Rashad then says to whatever we can't hear Garrett saying, Rashad says loudly, it's because of the riots? Is it because of the riots, dude? What? Is it because of the riots? Go watch the video yourself 3 times. And then he grabs the taser, and then he takes off. Like, this dude just told me about to kill me. Yeah, he took off. So, he starts fighting for his life, and unfortunately, Garrett did what he came to do when he pulled up in the Wendy's parking lot to assist the first officer. He pulls out his gun, Rashad turns around to kind of go to tase at the guy who had said, I'm about to kill you. And the tase ended up hitting the cop that had knocked on the window at first. And when that happened, that's when Killer Cop, who had sat to kill him before he even pulled into the Wendy's parking lot, took 3 shots into his back. That's homicide. That's a murder. That's not bringing a suspect down. What do you need to chase a suspect for where his car is still there and his driver's license is in your hand? Surround the perimeter. Call back up. Surround the perimeter. He's going to run into one of these streets, you guys. He's coming from the parking lot of Wendy's. He's going down block this, and that. Turn left on so-and-so. That's what you do. You don't shoot him in the back. You lazy bastard. Just because you didn't do your push-ups that morning. That's why you lost your job. You're a bully. You lost your job because you were a bully. A good cop wouldn't have done that. You were a bully. You set out to kill somebody because of the riots, because we hear the victims say that in the video. Go watch it yourself. Go watch it. So, that's where we are on that. All right. So, beam up. You never know what's going to happen with these because somebody's not going to like something that I said. All right. So, go ahead and beam up. Microphone is open. Go ahead and beam up as we get ready for the next part of the topics this morning. I know. We want the music going. Me too, boo. Me too, boo boo. But not this morning. It will slow us down from everything that we need to accomplish today. Okay? Woo! You guys, the next one. I'm sorry. I have to make sure I'm going to put that one up there right. Thank you so much. The beam is open. Anybody have any thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts? Hold on. Hold up. They don't. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start being the singer when I can't play music. And they don't love you like I love you. Slow down. There it goes. All right. So we are now about to talk. What I just saw. Is that it? Let's make sure that it's spelled right. So, the popular drug for treating a great deal of autoimmune diseases has been known for treating lupus and a host of other autoimmune diseases, was suggested by the leader of the United States as being the all in all cure for COVID-19 and pushed it continuously against experts saying, no, we need time to decide if that works. No, it works. Nope, sir, we need to do some research and find out if that works. Unfortunately, the research is at the expense of people that are sick. And they're facing death and may face even a faster death trying to tamper around with something. Well, hydroxychloroquine has now been said by the FDA to what we were told from the beginning by many experts who felt this way, that not enough time had been given. I believe a number under 200 people were tested in different areas with it, and it didn't have a good response. And there was even a video up at one point of a guy who said that he was given it and it just made things worse. So, hey, Sugar 11, thank you for coming by. Angel Twins, thank you for coming by. Born to Pizza, hey. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Shen, hey, thank you for coming by. Ram, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate if you guys, thank you for the new love. I appreciate that also. And become a fan. Please follow, share. So, I figured it made people go buy it like crazy. They had access to buying it. Prescriptions were being written. People that really rely on that drug after research had been done to show that hydroxychloroquine actually does really cure some other autoimmune diseases. They relied on it, and it was a shortage on it, and people's lives were in danger, including a lot of people's lives were in danger with the fear of running out, the systems of pharmaceutical life running out. So, FDA comes in today, according to all the media outlets, and says, yeah, that's some shit, and yeah, that doesn't work, and sit that leader down and don't let him say anything like that again. Or I paraphrase that quite a bit. So, gone is that. Should have been eliminated from the beginning as an option for treating. Come on. Should not have been something that for treating a disease we've yet to figure out what it does and how it works, how it spreads. There's just so much left unknown and so many experiments and oops, no, this happens, wear a mask. Oops, don't wear a mask. Yeah, do wear a mask. Like it's so much oops happening because people are trying to move too fast. without taking the time to do the research, and then they're finding out, oh, it started in the United States in January. And then, oh, maybe the flu cases, Dr. Burr said for the past 2 years, take a look at them, see maybe, if that was the new virus, maybe, and all that. So definitely wasn't time to talk about something being the all in all cure. So they have pulled that, and that's not going to be allowed for treating COVID 19, according to the news media, right? So, Supreme Court made a ruling today that's going to protect gay workers. And I just want to read for you what was said by the mayor of Denver, because that was a pretty decent reaction to that. Ba, 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 ba. So yeah, they did an historic ruling that says federal law protects LGBTQ workers. So they made that. That's what the one that I said I'm going to talk about religion. That's one of the topics I told you was coming up. I'm going to talk in behind a lot of beliefs. Behind a lot of business systems. It's the mindset of religion and people that are in business that are also religious that makes people go back into their business and discriminate people based on who they are. And that is the reason why I walked away from religion. Okay? That's the reason why I walked away from religion. So let me update you guys here. So, Beam is open for 2 more minutes. Oh, hey, too many. Born to Pizza, following you. I don't really know how that popped up except I'm typing. And it may. Alright. Alright, so. Sorry about that. You guys, yes, we had jumped from that and moved on over. Shout out to the people that get the behind the scenes. This works really well for you, doesn't it? You get to see what's happening behind the scenes in the studio. Thanks so much for coming by. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right. So where do we go here? Nice. Okay, 53 people. You're more than appreciated. 112 to 281 stopped by across the globe. I thank you for that. And we're at 42 minutes. So we definitely come by. All right. So I wanted to read to you something